Hi, hello, my name is Scott and welcome to another guitar lesson. This will be a short tutorial lesson on a song by Rainbow on the Rainbow Rising album called Run with the Wolf. And you just heard the guitar solo played on this thing, a bottleneck. So we'll look at the solo and the main riff as well, okay? That'll be the focus for this lesson. So, before we get into the solo, let's have a look at the main riff. It's a pretty cool riff, as I'm sure you'll agree. Not your usual Blackmore riff. He normally plays riffs in fourths, etc., etc. And so this one's a little bit of a departure, but all the same, it's a very cool riff. So let's just run for the riff just quickly. So we have an intro. Starting here. I'm playing it further up the neck. A little bit of a sequencer for you classical players. Alright, ending on the 6th string, 3rd fret, and then it could be an A5 chord. Then into the actual riff itself. Starting with a little lead-in, couple of pickup notes. Open 6th, 3rd fret, and then we're into the A5 chord again. Okay, so I think there's a little bit of palm muting going on here just to control the sound a bit. So we have the A5 chord. Then we have the 3rd fret, 5th string on the C to a D5. You could play a full D chord, but it's just because it's quite a busy little riff, probably best to play an A5. Sorry, a D5. All right, from there. Back to that C. So in between the A5 and the D5, we always put a passing note, you could say, a C. Back to the A5, a G, bottom G, 6th string, 3rd fret. Back to the A. D5 again. So you're just kind of alternating between A5 and D5 with the passing note C in between, and one instance of bottom G. So a bit closer. With the intro. Occasionally pausing on the D5. All right, second time round. Then we're back to the intro. So just remember, you've got the D5 now and again at the end of the riff, and which comes from the intro. Hope that helps. The real focus now is the is the guitar solo. Let's have a quick look at that. So yeah, the guitar solo using a bottleneck, but Ritchie Blackmore does something a little bit different, as he usually does. He's always was one for doing something a little bit different. So you may already use a bottleneck, or you may not have tried it before. Usually, you would pop it on your little finger. Etc, etc. Or even your third finger, if it's big enough. Can't get mine over. So if I was playing a bit more kind of, let's say, traditional or open tuning, say that's like an open G tuning, I would certainly use that. But what Ritchie does is he holds it in his hand, like so. Like that. Just kind of gripping it within his fingers, pressing it against the strings. Okay, now the only thing with that is, if you're playing with it here, you have all of this flesh here just to kind of deaden all the kind of extraneous noise you get behind the bottleneck. Even if I just did that, there's a lot of noise going on, which happens behind the bottleneck. So you can use your the fingers to kind of lightly press on the strings behind. Just to kind of help to deaden any noise that you don't want. All right, and you want just to really get the single note melody or whatever it is to come out from the use of the bottleneck. But Ritchie doesn't have all of that flesh to play with. I mean, you could actually play it and have your first finger pressing behind to help kind of tidy up all the noise behind the bottleneck. But there are other ways of playing with a bit more control. You can use the right hand to kind of mute a little bit. Bit of palm muting will help as well. Stopping the sound with a plectrum by putting the plectrum on the string. Okay, so yeah, so you could say he actually uses it a little bit like a lap steel player would use it. They would have it on there. I don't really play lap steel, to be honest. Alright, just holding it in their hands, running it over the strings. I mean, you have a bit of flesh to play with there, but it's just the idea of it being kind of held within the hand instead of being on the finger, which is a bit different, and which is what Blackmore uses. Maybe he got the idea from lap steel players, I don't know. Okay, let's have a look at the actual solo. Okay, so looking at the solo, it starts, so we're coming from, oh yes, the kind of the chorus part is a bunch of octave jumps starting on the G. I think that's what he does there, not exactly sure. Can't really hear it. Whoops. At that point there, we go into the guitar solo, okay? So that's obviously a different that's a different take. You know, he'd two separate tracks. So that would be the rhythm guitar track, which he'd keep playing, and then he'd probably do the guitar solo in a different take. All right, so let's just have a quick look at the guitar solo. So with the bottleneck held within the hand, let's take the first note. So we're third string over the 7th fret. Don't forget, we don't press down on the strings and then press them onto the frets. We don't need to do that because we actually get the note is pitched by the just the bottleneck being on the string. Okay. I mean, if I tried that by pressing down too much, you'd hear the actual frets underneath, which is not really the sound we want. We want this kind of gliding smoothly between notes sound, legato, we call it, in classical music terms. And of course, if you're not fixed within a fret, you can actually have a bit more vibrato going on as well. So you can actually slide backwards and forwards over the note to give you loads of vibrato. So a bit of vibrato there. Then we go on to the 2nd string, 5th fret. So then Richie starts to alternate between the 4th and 5th fret. It sounds a bit like one of those mystical Middle Eastern type scales, which he was very fond of then. So just to go into that again. So coming out of that, he goes onto the 3rd string, 5th fret, back to the A at the 2nd fret. Don't forget, when you're playing these, you know, the rule normally is to play behind the fret if you're fretting a note, but because it's slide guitar, we're not fretting notes, we're using the bottleneck to find the pitch on the strings. In a way, you could almost not have the frets there. You know, you can find the pitch yourself without the frets. Obviously use them as a guide, but what I'm trying to say is don't play behind the fret, play over the fret, okay, to get the exact pitch that you need. So I'm on the actual over the fret itself. If I go behind the fret, see, it changes the pitch. Yeah, okay, so yeah, so coming from there, so from here, 3rd string, 5th fret, back to the A, and then back to the, then onto the back up to the 5th fret and up to the 7th fret, and again. Into the next part, he shifts it up a little bit more in the register, get a higher guitar sound. So we're going up to the tonic note, the A. Don't forget we're in A, by the way, which is there, but better on the 2nd string, I think. Back to the more kind of pentatonic scale sound here. So 9th fret, 3rd string, 2nd string, 8th fret to 10th fret. Quite nice to slide into that as well. right? Bit more authentic sounding. So from here, and then he does something a bit different. I'm not quite sure what he does here exactly, but I think he kind of plays that same note at the 8th. So from here to that tonic note A, I think he puts in a little kind of muted G string at the same time. He kind of palm mutes it. In between those little. I think that's what he does. And then we go even higher up to a little bit more of that Middle Eastern mystical sound. So, first string, 11th, 12th, and then back to the A. So let's play what we go let's play what we got so far. Back to the A, yeah. Once it gets higher up into the register of the guitar, you'll notice that it stops a lot of the notes. I think that's a control thing. It's just trying to control the sound so it doesn't get too, quite a lot of sound. This does lots of scrapey sounds going on. So in order to control that, it just kind of stops the note. I mean, I'm doing that just by dropping my plectrum back into the string. With upstrokes. One thing I noticed about Rich's playing is he uses a lot of upstrokes. So after that bit, he does the same thing again. And he kind of climbs up the scale a bit more. More of a kind of a natural minor scale. So from here, from the A to the 12th, to the 13th, 14th, all of them stopped. I mean, you could slide it up, but that's not what I hear on the solo. Okay, so... And then to round off the solo is onto the 3rd string, 14th fret. I think he slides into it from the 13th fret. That's on the 3rd string. Then onto the 2nd string, 13th fret. And then what he does there, he just slides between the 12th and 13th fret on that 2nd string. Which is definitely a slide. But not for very long, because it's straight into the climax of the solo, which takes him up to the... So we go on to the 1st string, which is, what's that, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17th fret to 15th, slide up to the 19th, and then back to the 17th. And that's the end of the solo. So that needs a lot of control because of all that extraneous noise. All right. So lots of stopping with the plectrum with an upstroke. And it also needs a lot of control to try and keep that bottleneck from pressing accidentally onto the frets. You need to have the you need to be pressing on the string, but not pressing the string onto the fret. All right. Obviously, that would help if you had a guitar with a high action, because that wouldn't be a problem then. But if you're using it for the actual riff as well, and you're used to the action that you normally have, then you don't want to change that really, do you? So you have to just deal with the action that you've got, and yeah, just try and keep the strings from not touching the frets, so you can glide over without anything kind of getting in the way. All right. So just one more time for the solo then. Okay, hope that was helpful for you. A quick blast through that that song. So we looked at the main riff, a bit of the chorus, and mainly the guitar solo. If you have any questions about it or any comments, please comment below, and I look forward to seeing you in the next lesson. Bye.